there, Goshen Lane 5th graders. This is Mr. Shrake here, and what we're going to be doing today with this video is learning how to make a campfire. Of course, a campfire is very important when we are camping. If we were at camp right now, this is one of the skills that you'd be learning. Campfires are so important because first we get a lot of heat from a fire. It can help us stay warm. And also, another very important thing, that is our way of cooking food. That is our way of boiling water, cooking meat, cooking all different kinds of vegetables, different things like that. So fires are so very important when we are out in nature, when we are out camping. Hopefully you can hear me. It is a little windy today out here today, but this is one of the best days we could get to make a fire outside. So before we start putting things here into our fire pit, as you can see, it's empty right now. It is all the way empty. We're gonna go over our materials. Here. So it's always important to have cardboard and some types of paper. Newspaper, just old notebook paper that doesn't have any important school notes or anything like that. So it's always good to have some cardboard paper to really get the flame started, all right? The next thing, it's always good to have very dry branches. As you can see here, I have a handful, and these are what catch fire right after the paper and cardboard does. So these are very important. A lot of people think, oh, let me just put a log right on top and it'll catch fire. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. We have to start with small branches. And another thing that I have here to kind of imitate those small branches is just dry, small cut wood. Kind of like this right here. Very dry, can catch fire very fast, but I have some pieces like this, and this you can usually get from like a saw shop, something like that. Someone who works a lot with wood, they cut these ends off of pieces of wood, and these are great when you're catching fire as well. And our last thing that we have is, of course, some small logs. We start with small logs after all of that is already on our fire, okay? And these logs, as you can see, they're pretty dry. They'll be able to catch fire after all this other things are burning. And one of the most important things, a lighter. Right here, a lighter. We'll be able to catch our paper on fire, we'll be able to catch our sticks on fire, and then we'll be able to catch our logs on fire. So let's get started. Hopefully, we get a great fire today. So what I'm gonna start with is just ripping up some cardboard and some paper. As you can see, I'm ripping it up into smaller pieces. That's always a great way to go about things. And so paper doesn't go flying away. We always want to put a few sticks on it too. We're going to put a few sticks, a few of our small branches in there. We want to rip up our paper. And fires, sometimes fires will light up very easily, and sometimes fires take a lot of work. So you just have to work at it. And one other very important thing, once we get a flame going here, we'll have to blow air and oxygen and carbon dioxide coming out of our mouth will help kind of give that extra power to our fire, and it'll kind of catch flames as we're doing that. So I'm going to continue to rip things up and lay some small branches and sticks on here. Some of my small wood, like I said. And you might say, Mr. Shrake, oh, we don't want that. That's from Amazon packaging. Whew. We don't want that. But you might say, Mr. Shrake, can I just put logs right on top? No, we can't do that. We have to make sure we're putting this on. And you might also be saying, hey, Mr. Shrake, how do I make one of those big fires that are kind of like a teepee and a big, kind of look like a hut? Well, we'll get to that. That's when we start putting our big logs on. First, we want to really start the small fire underneath and get that going. So right now, I think we have enough. See, I'm even taking a little bit out, and I'm going to just put a little bit of just notebook paper in now. Make sure I rip that up, and we're going to start catching that on fire, and we're going to see if we can really get it going here. So here's my lighter. Make sure the wind doesn't catch it. Push it down, and we're going to start catching that right there. And we really want to get down underneath. And you don't want to just light from one side. You want to light from all different kinds of sides. As you can see, I'm walking around, coming over here to this side as well. Oh yeah, it's already starting to light. Fire really likes notebook paper. Not your homework notebook paper, but just regular notebook paper. And it's gonna catch our branches on fire because we have dry branches here. It loves cardboard. We're working against some wind here. It's definitely catching some wood in fire. And once we got a good flame going, we can add some more small sticks, more small cut wood like I kind of talked about. We can start laying that on. We got a little flame going right now. We're doing pretty good here. Mr. Shrake is not messing around today. And always, we got to be very careful. We got to be very careful. It's good to have a long stick or a big log so we're not putting our hand right into the fire. We can move it around with this. We don't want to touch all the fire in there. Right now our branches are catching fire. We can add a little bit more cardboard in the middle. It's always good to kind of get it down and then there in the middle. You got to be very careful though. We'll add a few more sticks. It's good to have small pieces. And then you might catch one side on fire and the other side might not do that well at the beginning. It will start to move over and move across. So I'm going to add a little bit more newspaper under that other side. We have some branches catching fire right now. Woo! We're working against some wind too. And that wind might even help catch our fire going. It might get it even going even more. All right, we're going to add some sticks here. We're going to take some of our dry sticks. Most of our branches are in there right now. We're working pretty good. We're going to add, I even have some small little pieces like this right here. We'll throw those in there. Oh yeah, that wind is blowing and definitely catching a good fire. As you can see, we're definitely working pretty well here. And I'm going to just keep putting these on, and then I'm going to start building my kind of cool shape for a fire. A teepee fire is what a lot of people call it. I keep adding those pieces. Be careful when you're reaching your hand in there. We have a pretty good fire going right here. We got some branches. It's really burning on one side. It will definitely grow to that other side as it keeps burning, as it keeps growing. Okay? Always want to be very careful though. Ooh, and be careful that you don't get splinters. So there's lots of parts you got to be careful with. Throw a few of those on. All right, so we're definitely burning. We're going to throw just a few more pieces of cardboard and maybe a piece of paper under there so we get that other side going really good. Woo. Throw that right there. Throw more pieces in there. Paper, not your homework. You can't say, I burnt my homework, Mr. Shrake. I don't want to hear that. So you can say, hey, this is just old paper laying around. Maybe some junk mail. But be careful, that sometimes has a lot of ink on it. But we have a pretty good fire going right now. We'll throw a few pieces of paper on there and let's add our big logs in. Woo! Not a bad fire at all. Awesome, so we'll move that back. We don't want those things to catch fire. And last thing, one of the last things we put in are our big logs. Of course, I'm starting with some smaller logs. You can throw even bigger ones on, but you want it to be dry wood. It can't be wet wood because it will put your fire right out. As you can see, we have a great fire going and we're gonna start putting together our teepee. But you want to be very careful. The wind is blowing a lot today, so let's be very careful and lay it in there. Woo. Always be careful. There's a good one. We have 4 more pieces to throw in there for our teepee. Good. Oh yeah. That one fell a little bit. Just be careful when you're reaching in there. It's blowing that way right now. Perfect. You can see how it's growing up. Coming up. This is a huge fire pit as well, so we're definitely working through it. Put one over here and one over there. Always be careful when it's blowing. Right there. And right here. So, as you can see, oh, I might have even got a splinter. Let's pull that out. Woo. Always want to be careful when you're working with wood. So, as you can see, hopefully, you see my fire's building up. I used paper, some dry sticks, some dry wood shavings from people that might have cut wood. And as you can see, my fire is growing. It's doing really well. Because it's so windy, I didn't even need to get down in there and say, but sometimes when it's just very dry air, you might have to get down there and help those coals get some oxygen and carbon dioxide to them. So we have a great fire going. there's not much more for me to add. Just some of this dry shavings. I'm just gonna throw it all on there. Like that, all those will catch fire. I can see the fire loves that dry wood that I just put on there. And after a while, after some of the cardboard, some of the paper burned down, and our wood's only burning, and we have great coals going, that's when we can go, I'm not gonna do it right now, but that's when we can go grab our stick with our hot dog on it, like I have here, an all beef hot dog. You never wanna step into the smoke because that could hurt. And you're gonna sit right here, and you can go ahead and cook yourself a hot dog. I hope you guys enjoyed making a fire here with Mr. Shrake. I have had such a great year with all you 5th graders. I am so sorry that we cannot go to camp this year, but I hope through these videos you get to learn so many experiences that you would have had at camp. I had a great time doing this. I am so excited to see what the other teachers have made for you guys and what they're going to teach you through videos like this. I'm going to miss all you 5th graders. Good luck in middle school. So proud of all you guys, and have a great summer. See you guys.